This week on Choice Hacking.
Chris and Tom offered to help me train to become a police officer. The physical exam is about 3 months away, and I am in terrible shape.
Anything is possible! Come on, Andy. Come on. You can do it. Go, 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 go.
You can do it, Andy.
Dig.
Ah!
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so hot. It was horrible. Oh, I'm going to die. I'm so tired. Everything hurts. Running is impossible.
In this clip from Parks and Rec, Chris Pratt's character Andy articulates what most people feel and think. Exercise is terrible. And I don't care what you think, one person who just said out loud, I love to exercise. The rest of us hate it, even if we do it. But why is it so terrible? Well, it's because the benefits are so far away. In the near term, there's blood, there's sweat, there's pain. And in the long term, well, lots of benefits like living longer, being healthy, getting strong, and staying limber into our older years. But the thing is, our brains hate sacrificing near-term pain for long-term gain. And there's actually a phrase for it. It's called hyperbolic discounting, and sometimes it's called present bias. It means that most people have to outsmart their own brains to get in a workout. For many Peloton owners, some of whom struggled for years to stick to a fitness routine, their indoor cycling workout has gone from being a burden to becoming an addiction. And how has Peloton gotten people who struggled to exercise for so long, people like me and maybe like you as well, to commit to regular workouts? Well, it's because Peloton isn't just a bike. It's a social fitness game that uses psychology and behavioral science to hook users. I'm Jennifer CLINEHENS, and you're listening to Choice Hacking, a podcast about applying behavioral science and psychology to business, marketing, experience design, and more. Join me today as we unpack the psychology and behavioral science principles that helped Peloton gain a cult following, and how you can apply some of their strategies to your own business. But before we get started, as always, let's give a shout out to the company who helps bring you this podcast, Audible. Since you're enjoying a podcast right now, I'm going to take a guess that you love listening. And maybe, if you're like me, you love listening to audiobooks as well as podcasts. If you visit choiceHacking.com/Audible, you can get a free 30-day trial of Audible Plus. It's a service that I use, I love, I enjoy it, and I recommend it to anyone else who's had to spend 5 days a week in nonstop Zoom meetings, taking in information through their now very tired and very, very dry eyes. So don't read, listen with Audible Plus. And don't forget, you can get exclusive free content when you sign up for our Choice Hacking mailing list at choicehacking.com/subscribe. There, you'll join more than 4,000 brilliant people just like you who get access to exclusive videos, blog posts, and more. All about behavioral science and psychology applied to business, marketing, customer experience design, and more. That's choicehacking.com/subscribe. Now, on to the show. Peloton fans are described as zealots, cult members, or addicts. But why are riders so obsessive? Speaking as someone who owns a Peloton. Well, the answer lies in the psychological and behavioral science principles behind its experience. When Peloton was founded in 2012, it used the most addictive experiences on the planet as templates for its business. As Tom Cortese, one of Peloton's 5 co-founders, put it, quote, "We did talk a lot about Apple early on, and we talked about Netflix and Amazon. When you think about these game-changer companies who focus on user experience, that is where we looked for inspiration." And just like Apple, Netflix, and Amazon, Peloton applies powerful principles to get users to do 2 critical things. 1, get on the bike, and number 2, get people addicted to the experience. So how does Peloton get people on the bike? A few ways. So first, let's talk about the sunk cost fallacy. So this principle states that people are more likely to start or continue an activity if they've made a significant investment in the form of time or money. Now, there's no getting around the price of a Peloton. It's expensive. And about $2,000 for the bike and equipment, plus another $40 a month for the app, it's a pretty big investment. But by charging a premium price, Peloton increases the chances people will jump on the bike once it's in their homes. And second, the design of the bike lends itself to something called default bias. Now, defaults are preset actions that take effect if people do nothing. Since defaults don't require people to take any effort, they can be a simple but effective tool for driving action. So because of the sleek design and the size of the bike, users are more likely to put it somewhere they can see it. And when they see it, they're more likely to use it. And last, to get people on the bike, Peloton used the halo effect. And this cognitive bias describes the tendency for positive impressions of one thing to influence people's opinions in another area. In this case, Peloton's celebrity fans help create a halo around the product. So people like Hugh Jackman, Usain Bolt, Richard Branson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Michael Phelps have professed love for Peloton. Their brand endorsements create a halo effect around the product itself. The risk of trying a Peloton is minimized because celebrities we admire have vouched for it. And most of them haven't even been paid to do it, making this use of the halo effect especially authentic and effective. The Peloton user experience uses the halo effect, defaults, and sunk costs to get people on the bike. But what keeps people coming back to the bike and creating a habit? Well, the answer lies in a model discovered by MIT researchers. The so-called habit loop describes the basic structure of every habit. Now, habit loops consist of 3 parts, and all 3 parts must be present to create a habit. So number 1, the trigger, also called the cue. Number 2, the routine, so basically the habit itself. And number 3, the reward or feedback. So triggers or cues are the reason that people decide to get on the bikes and work out. The Peloton experience is set up to create cues for users. For example, the mere exposure effect. So this principle states the more people see a product or brand, the more affinity they'll have for it. The bike's sleek design and small size as compared to a treadmill or a Bowflex means users can display it in prominent areas of their homes. And that creates a perfect stage for the mere exposure effect to take hold. In Peloton's case, the more you see the bike parked in your living room or bedroom, the more likely you are to use it. Next, let's talk about the simplicity effect. This principle states that people prefer experiences that are simple, easy, and available at the exact moment they want to perform them. In his behavior change model, Stanford professor B.J. Fogg calls this the, quote, ability to perform a task. The simpler the task, the greater the ability. Now, Peloton's on-demand library of pre-recorded classes and their around-the-clock schedule of live classes means when someone's habit loop is triggered, they can jump right into a class. So we've talked about how Peloton creates triggers for users to jump on the bike, but what about the second part of the habit loop, the routine itself? Well, Peloton's UX uses a few things to keep customers hooked. First, social motivation, also called competition. This principle has been shown to increase physical effort during a workout, how well people adhere to healthy habits, and even reaction times during a workout. Peloton's community of more than 2 million users compete for spots on their live class leaderboards. Rankings are determined by your effort in the class, and the competition is fierce. User-generated content abounds about how to best position yourself on the board and tips for how to hack your workout to get more points. And if you're more self-motivated, you can even set the leaderboard to just show your best time or the times you've already set in a specific class. In addition to leaderboards, the instructors themselves can be motivating. Users tend to find favorite rides or teachers, and after taking the same people's classes day after day, riders can start to have what are called parasocial interactions. So basically that means instead of feeling like your instructors are separate from you, it feels like you're in the same room developing a one-sided relationship. It's similar to the way that watching an episode of Friends or The Office might feel like you're hanging out with your friends. That audience-performer relationship is the essence of parasocial interactions, and another way that Peloton's experience creates emotional bonds to the bike. So the last part of that habit loop, after triggers and routine, is reward. The better the reward, the more likely we are to stick to a habit. So this part of Peloton's experience is critical. Just like we talked about at the top of the podcast, exercising is really hard, and our brain would rather delay a workout now, even if it meant our future self would be out of shape. Principles like the goal gradient effect, which states that people are more motivated by how much is left to reach their target rather than how far they have to come, are everywhere in the Peloton experience. As people get closer to a reward, they speed up their behavior to get to their goal faster. So think of the goal gradient effect as a virtual finish line. The closer riders get to finishing, the more encouraged they become. This principle is the science behind gamification elements like progress bars and badges. And in the Peloton experience, gamification is everywhere. So for example, users earn points, they get achievements, and they can then rank higher on leaderboards. Output scores are calculated from a combination of resistance and pedal speed. And these elements, combined with the serotonin boost of a workout, is what drives that addicted feeling that users talk about. It's all about a reward that makes the routine worth it. Peloton has done something nearly impossible. They've made exercise addictive for millions of people. Their incredible growth and famously engaged users are a testament to their top-notch experience. The brand drew inspiration from gold standard experiences like Amazon and Netflix to create an at-home spinning class that's part workout and part religion. If you're interested in applying some of the behavioral science and psychology principles that Peloton uses, start by asking yourself a few questions. So first, do we make it easy for our customers to use our product? Like Peloton, is our proposition straightforward? And does it fill an existing need? Peloton users tend to be professionals with demanding jobs, schedules, and a little bit of a competitive streak. Not only do they need an intense workout they could do at home, but Peloton's users also wanted a machine with a small footprint that looks good in their living rooms. Second, is there a social component to your experience? Are users encouraged by others in a virtual community, or maybe they have a little bit of competition? Consider how you might take a page from Peloton's playbook by incorporating a social element to your product, especially if it's one that's particularly prone to hyperbolic discounting, like working out, quitting smoking, or even doing your taxes. And third, if customers do make your product a habit, what's the payoff? Is the reward worth the effort today and not just weeks or months from now? Thank you for listening to the Choice Hacking Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please consider checking out my book, Choice Hacking, available on any major internet book retailer and an audiobook form on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. You can even download the first chapter for free if you visit choicehacking.com/free chapter. As always, you can find me, Jen CLINEHENS, on Twitter @ChoiceHacking, or follow Choice Hacking on LinkedIn or Instagram. And I am excited to share that we have finally landed on YouTube. So that's right, a whole channel about all the ways that big brands apply behavioral science. You can find it by visiting choicehacking.com/YouTube. Until next time.
I hit recorded, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.